Welcome back to Jet Entertainment. Today we all created our own list of our top 10 personal favorite deaths in cinema. Are we going with that?
Yeah, so it's a mix of like best, shocking, worst. I mean, it could be worse. Like
Most memorable.
surprising, memorable.
We have our
personal.
reasons for
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah.
Some of these are just like critically like what we believe to be the best, and then we have some of our favorites, and then
I have 0.
And I may or may not have a giant honorable mention list.
I have 0.
he has like 48 honorable mentions that we might get to. I don't know. We'll see.
I have 0, like critical one at all.
I mean,
Mine are all
could assume
personal.
that. Figured that.
We assumed yours were very personal.
Do you want to kick it off since you're to the left?
I think he should not go. I should probably.
You wanna go first?
Because his is going to be very a one-sided list.
You want to just go this way and then back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Are we snaking
Well-
it?
Well, that means
No,
I'm
we're
finished.
we're not
Granted, I have a good
drafting.
finish at the end.
We'll just go in a circle like this.
Okay. So my first one.
His number 10th.
Yeah, mine aren't really in order. They were just kind of done as in like these are ones that are like. I went from like these are gimme ones for me personally, and then there's like the middle sections kind of like more critically prestige, and then the last one's definitely like a very personal one for me.
Yeah.
I
I personally ordered mine.
So you guys know us. First one, Star Wars. Taking you to Star Wars Rebels, and I'm doing Kanan Jarrus's death. Sorry for the spoilers. Don't watch
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Fucking sorry.
There's going to be a fuck ton of spoilers in this. I'm going to clarify before some of them because, there's some big-ass shows and movies in this in my list.
Dude,
at least.
honestly, just don't like watch this sparingly. We're gonna say like the show.
I'm going
and
to,
then the character. If you hear the show, skip.
just wait. And then, pause,
Yes.
skip, do it because there's going to be a
Wait
lot of
for
spoilers.
the next person to start talking.
Yeah.
Read our lips.
There's going to be a lot of spoilers.
Um,
Just letting you know.
First on my list, I have Kanan. Maybe for especially because like I wouldn't say the saddest I've been, but for a death, probably for sure. Like one of the saddest and most shocking like just twist in the middle of a show for Star Wars. Like I just remember like there's the part where they give the go ahead to fire, and I'm just like, no, fuck.
How does he die?
Protecting all of his loved ones and stuff.
Damn.
And they do like so I mean you don't care, do you?
Nah.
So basically the Empire shoots these giant like gas tankers and it like blows up and he uses the Force to catch it. And so one of the other characters in the show, Ezra, tries to go save him, but he like forces him back
Which is
into
his
the
which
ship.
is his Padawan,
Yeah,
by
which
the
is
way.
his Padawan. And he's looking at like his wife and he like looks at her and he currently is blind because he got blinded by Darth Maul. He uses the Force to regain his vision to look at his girl for the last time, and then pushes them out and just gets engulfed.
Basically, what happened was he promised her before they both died that he would see her again, and basically the Force rewarded him with being able to see her one last time before he
Crazy.
gave up his life to save everybody.
Fucking crazy.
Fuck you for putting that at 10.
It wasn't 10. It was just like a gimme. Like everybody knows me. It's Star Wars. I'm assuming that maybe been on your list too.
It is on my list.
We'll get to
I'm
that.
sorry, but
It's a lot higher on my list.
well, okay. So I did not rank mine. Mine are just by like I'm a Star Wars fan.
I
That's
mean,
a
should
gimme.
I just say?
Are
what
yours
mine's
ranked?
Mine's ranked.
We'll get to it. Well, you won't. You
You
don't
can
think?
just say it in your order. Like I'm sorry. Like there's probably going to be a little bit of overlap.
Yeah, I assume.
But yeah, that was the first one. Kanan.
Hold on. I kind of forget where I put mine. My number 10 is the Spider-Man in the beginning of Into the Spider-Verse. I just think that scene overall was pretty cool, with Miles coming into the scene, finally getting his powers, and kind of seeing who was his idol in the very beginning. Like, he had no idea what was going on, and he was so lost and confused, and he thought he had his mentor right there with him, and he just gets fucked on very quickly. And then the song they play after is very fire. I just think that scene overall was cool. I like that Green Goblin character design in that movie too. Thought it was a cool take on it. But yeah, that's one of my, I would say, top 5, top 10 favorite movies of all time. So I had to sneak a death from that movie in there somewhere. And There was another one in there I could have put in there, but that's the one I'm going with. Is the Spider-Man in the beginning of Into the Spider-Verse.
You've never seen that, so
No,
It's
I
not
have
that crazy. It's in the very beginning.
Yeah.
yeah.
With my list, it's a little weird. I have this at 10, and I might get shit on for it being at 10. I have Iron Man dying at Endgame at my 10. I don't know if that's too low on my list or whatever the case is.
We talked about this before.
I just have other stuff on my list that's more personal to me, where it's not as high. But I really like the Iron Man movies, especially the first one. I think it's awesome. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies, actually.
Same.
And for him to come full circle with his character and do what he needed to do for everybody, for the world, I don't know, it just hits different.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Me and him actually talked about that death because it's one of the more like famous ones like that I could think of in cinema, and like to my knowledge, it's not on your list.
I didn't want to share my opinion.
That's how I felt when you started talking about Kate, and I was like, damn.
Oh,
Oh,
it's not on my list.
okay.
He despises Endgame.
I despise Endgame too.
One
actually.
time, we'll get to that at some point. I think that is the biggest disappointment in cinema fucking history. Not necessarily that death, but that movie.
Yeah, we can get into it because I want to talk about it too. But Iron Man specifically, doing what he needed to do, I don't think Iron Man had anything wrong with his character in the story, so I'm not really particularly worried about that. But yeah, you want me to just go to my 9 and we can just go back and forth?
Ooh, that's what I was asking when I was saying, are we doing like a snake?
Yeah, let's do a snake. I can go
fine
for the
with
next
me,
one.
I
So
don't
at my
care.
9,
I'm in the middle regardless.
Ooh, actually, I don't know. Because we
do it that
kind of
way.
want to break them up a little bit.
Yeah, we can
Just because my lists are different than your guys's.
we can break it up. I'm in the middle regardless, so I don't.
Yeah, you're the same.
I'm
You're the
staying
same
here.
order. I mean, you can go if you want.
So also from which one is that? I think it's the first Avengers movie.
Oh, damn, you
Back-to-back Marvel?
Avenger?
I do. Agent Coulson. Because I used to watch these movies and just think, oh, it's just heroes. And
You know what that is?
Mm.
Okay. I was like,
just
you gotta give
Interesting
a
pick.
Yeah.
So just heroes and just killing villains, and then I don't know, for me, like watching it as a kid, I'm just like, this is actually real. Like, it's not real, but like in the
I knew what you meant, but
In the
way
universe.
you immediately changed your face at me,
Right.
and he was
This
like,
is real to
wait,
me.
wait, hold on.
right, I just want to make sure I'm clear. Like in
It's
the
not what I
universe,
mean.
this is real. Like they didn't really show people dying like that,
Yeah.
that often, and that was like all he wanted was his like little card signed. You know what I mean?
Honestly, that is kind of a fucked up scene.
Yeah, and I'm
dude.
just like,
yeah.
he just got the bloody hand all over the cards and shit. Like that's all he wanted. And I don't
This
know.
is starting off way different than I thought it was
that
going
was-
to.
I
that
don't,
was
I don't know.
what I
For
was
me,
expecting.
it like hit me, and I was like, I don't know. Like, it was around the time when I really started, like, you know, we talked about it in the first episode, that death.
It's already going left.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but this is like that was one of the moments. There's a couple more on here that like it. Well, there's one more on here, but where it like really hit me. Like this is like I'm gonna die one day. I got one on here
Damn.
specifically that it like really hit me. But that was around the time where it really started hitting me.
What was that, 2012? So you would have been
First Avengers
11.
movie, yeah.
11.
Damn.
Damn. Way later than me.
Yeah, you didn't.
I was like
didn't you say you were
7.
like 5 or something?
I think I was 7.
Those are you going back this way.
Yeah, I
man.
have him
Yes, it's
at
going to you.
I have him at 9. I like, dude, that was sad as hell.
That is like an underrated sad
I
scene.
didn't even
for real.
think about that.
Well, right, that's my
whatsoever.
point. I also
I'm
feel like
honest,
people just
I don't
for
think I put a single Marvel one.
I've got 2.
I forgot to look at Marvel, if I'm being honest. Like, I didn't forget, but like it was one of those things I like pushed to the back of my head and was like, oh, those would be easy, and then just never did any.
yeah.
Considering you have 18 million honorable mentions, I assumed one of them would have been Marvel.
I don't think I put a Marvel.
What the fuck?
I mean,
Alright.
to be fair, like you guys are probably gonna hit the ones that I would say anyway.
Well, I just hit 2 Marvel, and they're neither of what
Yeah,
you would
neither.
have said.
Actually, I take that back. Neither of
Oh
them.
yeah, you did. That's crazy.
Also, we forgot to say we made a rule. You are not allowed to double up, or you're not allowed to triple up on a franchise. So
You can only have 2.
you can
from
only have
one.
2 Star Wars, 2 Avengers, 2 XYZ. You cannot do a third one. That's
probably
why
would-
I have a lot of honorable mentions.
I probably would have had 4 Star Warses on here, like for.
I
I-
assumed
I-
you were gonna have 10 Star Wars.
I had like 4 or 5 that I have listed, but
I probably would have had at least 4, maybe 5, like if we were allowed to, just because of how much Star Wars means to like me and Tyler and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, my number 9 is from John Wick. I picked the dog.
That's not where I thought you were going.
I picked the dog in John Wick.
I haven't seen those movies. I really want to.
I haven't
It's a
seen them
good
either.
fucking
yeah,
movie.
and
What?
I told you this before. That's
forgot
one
you
of those
said
series
that.
that I haven't seen, and
You know, Mom bought me the trilogy for on
Fucking
DVD.
watch it.
Oh, I
the
know.
John, you have it,
I
and you haven't
have-
seen it.
yeah. Still
Dude, that
haven't seen
first
it.
movie is
like
incredible.
I think
two-
it's on.
it was
I
like
think it's on
two-
Peacock.
I think it was
Peacock.
it was like 2 Christmases ago. She got me this shit, and I just still haven't watched it.
All right, well, I picked the dog from John Wick solely because of he was this like retired assassin or whatever. He was just trying to live his normal life. What? Oh, I
Sorry.
thought you were laughing.
No, I thought of another death, and it just pissed me off. I
Yeah.
forgot about it. Sorry.
He was like this retired assassin. He had just lost his fucking wife, and the only thing she left for him was this fucking puppy.
Well, yeah, I know this story.
Yeah, I mean it's also
fun.
in the very fucking beginning. Like I'm
Yeah.
not really spoiling anything. And these pieces of shit come and break into his house to steal his fucking car.
the blonde-haired kid.
Yes.
He's one of the main characters in Game of Thrones.
I've seen
Yeah.
that. These pieces of shit come in and fucking. They don't even really like do anything to the dog at first, but then they're beating him down, and he's just on the floor laying sideways, looking at essentially the only thing left of his wife, and he watches this guy punt this fucking puppy, and dude, that shit just crushed me when I saw that for the first time at like fucking, I don't know, 12 or however old I was when I first saw that movie, dude. I was so just pissed off, and so was he. So, and you find out in the rest of the movie how mad he got from that shit.
I obviously haven't seen the movie, but I've basically seen the movie through like clips. What is his name? They call him the Boogeyman. He's the guy you send to fucking kill the Boogeyman. That's one of the hardest fucking scenes I've ever
Baba
seen.
Yaga. The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
It's a good ass fucking movie. But yeah, that's
I
my
might
number
watch
9.
that this week now.
It's so good, dude. I'm telling you, it's worth it. But yeah, I figured I would throw a dog in there. Because that one hit me hard.
There's a couple dogs in cinema that could have been chosen.
I've got another one on my list.
Okay, then I won't say because I think I might know the dog.
Yeah. Your number 9?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not doing order, but this one fucks me up. This is definitely like a personal one. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Optimus Prime's death in the forest. And honestly, it's one of those things that like I'm not saying it as like a fanboy of Optimus. It's more of the when he falls and like he knows he's dying, and as he's like depleting, he just Sam
And
run.
then he starts turning gray.
And I'm just like,
So actually, I was gonna put that on my list. I didn't put it on my list because I didn't think it would count. Because he comes back to life in the movie.
That was one of the ones where I'm like, I said fuck it, I'm breaking the rules. If that
Okay.
broke the rules, fuck you guys. That shit. I remember watching that for the first time and just like, I think I audibly said no. No fucking way.
No.
And then when
Please.
Josh Duhamel's character gets the phone call, yeah, what's up? You just see instantly he's like, we're fucked.
Yeah, I didn't put it on my list. I didn't know if that would count or not. I guess like if I'd have asked, I'd have just told you guys. So it's like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say that. But
Yeah.
I didn't put it on my list. It probably would have been on my list. I'm not gonna change my list. I'm just gonna keep going with what I got. But that probably would have been on my list if I
So-
went with it.
We're snake drafting.
Drafting.
Drafting. Snake answering. We're gonna go right back to Transformers. And we're going to Dark of the Moon. And we're going with Ironhide. This I remember watching this in theaters and going, "You fucking bitch," just audibly, "You fucking bitch." I don't know if this made your list. The way you looked
It's
at
on my
me, it
list.
might be on your
It's
list.
on my list. You've taken 2 really high picks for me. You've taken 2 really high
Maybe-
picks for me.
Honestly, I don't know why I felt so sad for a fucking number one, a fictional character. Another thing, a robot truck.
They're all fictional characters.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we could have done. There could be real people in these movies. like a biopic movie or
I mean-
something. Like, you could have picked a biopic movie, but like it's a fucking talking robot that turns
Yeah.
into a car, though. So like it's borderline insanity to be like I was actually upset.
That
but,
poor car robot thing.
That scene fucked me up.
Did you cry?
I don't remember. I know my sister did.
Oh, that was the one. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
He
He
was
just
fucked. He just melted.
dude, he shot a rust cannon at him, and the dude rusted in real time.
Damn. That's fucked.
And then you just hear him groan as his head starts to disappear.
Yeah, it's even more fucked up in like the books and comics because he like asks
It
for
always
help.
is.
No, yeah.
He reaches out to Sentinel to be like, please don't stop.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure we don't get to see him after the second movie, but the two twins. Have you seen Transformers?
I've seen the first.
He's
three.
seen the first three.
Yeah.
Okay, so the two twins that are in it,
Mm.
that were the ice cream truck, and then they got their own
Yeah.
Chevy Sparks. They,
Kill Megatron.
yeah. Bumblebee was shot at, and they both jumped in front of Bumblebee to save Bumblebee's life.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't
that-
put into the final cut.
The rush shot where he shoots a shot and it hits the like electrical box. That was supposed to be the twins, but they ended up taking it out.
Damn. I wonder
They
why.
got in the comic books. They got blasted.
Damn.
To save Bumblebee.
Yeah, and they were so
Crazy.
small. It was
Why
like
they took it out.
it was like an instant disintegration.
Probably because everybody was
because-
already devastated.
Not,
because
no,
Iron Man
it was because
dead.
those were two very controversial characters in it.
It's even better. Kill them if people don't like them.
Yeah, but then
It
it
makes some people
then
happy.
It would, like,
I guess the controversial thing that's worse about it is that they would have saved Bumblebee, and it's like if they were already controversial and they saved like the most beloved character, I mean, be like, oh, now I gotta like
I
them.
don't,
Yeah,
I don't.
I guess.
I mean, the thing was, it's not that people didn't like them. That it was they were, number one, they were the Jar Jar of Transformers. Number two, they
Yeah,
were
but we love Jar Jar.
heavily depicted like slow socioeconomic, like
Stereotypical.
stereotypical, like dumb kid in the movie gangster type people
Yeah.
doing.
Nobody messes with the twins.
Yeah, honestly,
I know, I love
I don't
it.
think we should keep quoting.
I actually
probably
love
not.
them.
Love is strong.
Well,
You love
I
them?
love Jar Jar, but I don't like.
Yeah, he's definitely better than what the twins are. The one has a fucking gold tooth.
Jesus.
They got like earrings and shit. I'm pretty sure.
All right, we'll move on. For my number 8, I kind of cheated a little bit too, I guess. If you haven't seen The Mist, I really don't want to spoil this for anyone that hasn't seen it, or, I mean, I'm assuming you guys don't give a fuck. So, it's the Stephen King adaptation for the movie. It's called The Mist.
Do you know what that movie is about?
Isn't Sam Witwer in that movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Have you seen it?
No, Noah's told me to watch it. He really likes that movie.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, do you want the spoiler? I don't think you care.
It's fine.
Ah, fuck, okay.
I
Well,
mean, Stephen King, you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
And it's called The Mist. What does The Mist do?
I don't know.
kills
Probably
people.
Kills people.
Yeah. Well, my death on The Mist, I kind of cheated a little bit because I picked just the ending of The Mist, and I was going to get more into it, but I kind of don't want to now a little bit because if you're going to watch it, that was like the most devastating ending I've ever seen of any cinema ever. Just the pure, like, anguish and fucking, I forget his name, Thomas Jane, maybe? I think that might be his name. The main character. Just the pure just sadness and grief he was dealing with in that moment, dude. That was just one of the most heartbreaking endings ever, because, like, they thought they were making the right decision, only to find out it got ripped right from them, that it was essentially over, and that they fucked up, in a way. I'm not going to get more into it, just so I don't spoil more, but just that ending is one of the most fucked up endings I've ever watched, and it's definitely worth the watch as far as the movie goes. But yeah, just the ending of The Mist is my 8.
Okay. So for my number 8, I have a character from Demon Slayer season 2. Have either of you guys seen Demon Slayer?
No, I've seen like some of it, but not
I
like
know
actually
what
watched
it is.
Yeah, I've seen like clips.
Tyler's like, you're lucky I know what you're talking about.
No.
So it was actually just re-released because they're about to have a movie for the newest season that's about to come out, and they just re-released the second season as the movie, so like the whole season in a movie in theaters to like, tell people, oh, Demon Slayer is about to be back in theaters and this and that. So I haven't seen all of Demon Slayer. I'm still currently watching it. I'm almost done with season 4 now. But I finished season 1 and my friend was telling me about it, and we went and watched the movie together as season 2. I hadn't watched any of it yet, and went and watched the full season 2 in just the movie form. Do you guys care what I really say about it?
No.
So basically, they get sent on a mission with this more like I guess powerful. So they have the Demon Slayer like corporation where they have like rankings within there, and then they have like the top notch people. So they sent one of the they're called Hashiras. They sent one of the more powerful ones, and then they had the 3 main characters go. And there's this demon that's killing people every night on this train, and the whole movie is taking place on this train. This train gets so fucked up by the end of this, it's off the rails. I don't know if I don't even remember if they even said if all the people made it off the train okay, because it came off the railing at the end of the fucking movie just to defeat one demon. And they go through all this, they kill the demon. You think it's over, you think everything's fine. Well, they have this thing with the demons. I don't want to butcher what it's called, so I'm not going to say it. But they have like a council of
Probably
demons.
a good choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They have a council of demons basically, and it's the top 12 like best demons. Like not slayers, demons. And they have like upper rank, upper 6, and then lower 6. And the 3rd ranked demon shows up just at the end. 3rd ranked best demon out of all of them shows up just randomly. And so the Hashira, his name's Rengoku, going toe to toe with this motherfucker. And long ass battle. And like I said, I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no clue what was going to happen. I don't even want to say I was that into Demon Slayer until I watched this. So I liked Demon Slayer. I didn't love it. I watched this movie, dude. They're going toe-to-toe. The demon's trying to tempt him with turning him to a demon. They're like, you're so powerful as a human. Just imagine what you would be like as a demon. And he's like, no, fuck all that. I'm a fucking, like, a hero. You know what I mean? And so we get this scene. It's, like, right before he goes. He has the sword. So the demons can regenerate their bodies, like, basically instantly. That's how powerful they are. But the way you would kill a demon is with this special like swords that they like forge, and you have to like cut their heads off. So he's like he has the sword in his neck, in the process of cutting it off, and then you kind of get this big like explosion that happens, like just anime like effects and shit like that, and it looked like he cut his head off. Well, it like cuts the scene to black and then shows both of them, and the demon had punched right through his chest before he could get the sword to go all the way through his neck, and just sat there while he just bled out with this demon's fist in his fucking chest. It's fucking terrible.
So he like almost had him, and then
He literally almost had him.
So that then the demon could regenerate after that
the
because he didn't
demon
fully get him.
regenerated it and
Damn.
got away.
That's fucked.
I was like, good God. And then so the main character.
I know everything about Demon Slayer.
So the
I knew nothing, and I think I know what the show's about.
Slaying demons.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know that. If I'm being honest, like
Yeah. So basically, not. I guess I could talk to you about it afterwards if you really want me to. I don't want to just sit here and talk
to be
about
fair,
Demon Slayer.
I just thought Demon Slayer was like I thought it was like a group of people that were like they called them the Demon Slayers. I didn't know they.
Thought it was like a biker gang.
No, like I knew it was like in an anime style, so like I knew like kind of idea, but I didn't think they were fighting actual demons. I thought
No.
like the Demon Slayers were like a group of people and they fought like the. I don't want to say anything crazy, but
The human slayers.
there's this big ultimate bad guy.
they were fighting like the shoguns and stuff like that. I didn't know.
There's this big ultimate bad guy. He was the first demon ever. This is like the main bad guy of the show. Looks exactly like Michael Jackson. Kid you not. I can show you a picture.
What the fuck?
I can show you a picture when we get off
Does he
here.
sound like Michael Jackson?
No.
Ah, damn it.
He looks just like Michael Jackson. And he was the first demon ever. They don't really know how he became a demon, but he's also, technically not, but he's also the only person that can really turn people into demons. So at the beginning, so in season 1, the main character finds him, because could smell him because he has this crazy sense of smell, I guess. It was the same smell that he smelled when his whole family was murdered in the first episode.
God damn.
So the guy killed his entire family except for his sister. He actually turned his sister into a demon. So
I think I have heard about that. Actually.
the whole goal of the show is he's trying to cure his sister. His sister is like special compared to everybody else. She doesn't feed on humans, so they feed on humans to like live. They're kind of like vampires, kind of.
What the fuck is the show?
It's actually really fucking
You're
good.
saying something, and I keep just getting like, I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm telling you, like, it took me a long time to get into anime. If you can get over like how it looks,
So that was one of my questions when you were gonna be done. Is it dubbed?
yeah, you can watch it.
Like I know you can get both, but I'm like, I was asking what you watched.
I watched dub. I've only seen technically only one anime the whole way through, so I've kind of like not ready for that. I tried watching an episode in Japanese, could not follow what was going on. I don't know if that's just a me problem, but
I think it depends on the anime because certain
Probably.
dubs are good and certain dubs are
it's
not
like Demon
good.
Slayer. I'm trying to watch all the
There's like a
action and
famous
shit.
dub that's bad.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
They literally told them do whatever the fuck you want, and they're making like racist jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's not what they said in the real show.
Death Note has a really good dub.
yeah. I started Death Note. I haven't finished it yet.
Really?
I started.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
That's like the only one that I've like considered
It's fucking good, dude.
of like a Japanese anime.
I think you'd actually really like Demon Slayer if you can get over like you know how they have like the goofy scenes in
Well,
anime.
I mean,
like,
that's the thing. Like, I've seen like American animes and like animation style stuff. Like, it's one of those things that it's intimidating as fuck to get into any of them because like, it's one of those things that's like, you need to watch this one, you need to watch that one, you need to watch that one. It's just adding a shit ton of shows, and then someone was like, "Well, you should have a general understanding of this show, but it's 1,100 episodes." And
Well,
I'm
that's
like,
why I like Death Note.
"Well, that was why Death Note's
37
like,
episodes.
the number one anime that I was like, oh, I'll give that a shot because it's
Yeah.
short."
Short.
Which there are a
easy.
ton that are short, but like
Demon Slayer is not
like
that long.
Dragon Ball and
Dragon Ball's ridiculous.
What's the other
Naruto.
Naruto
One
and
Piece.
then
One Piece is the
One
really
One
long
Piece is
They're
dude,
still going.
What the fuck?
Right, they're still making that shit.
And then I know a lot of people like Attack.
Attack on Titan's not very
I
long, and
kind
it's
of want
done.
to watch that. Yeah.
I actually started it.
That's one of those ones that I'm like, oh, that would be one that I would look into.
So for me, when Attack on Titan was the first one I watched, and I couldn't get into it.
Really?
So I couldn't.
People are gonna hate you for that.
I have gone back to it. And
Some
I
people
actually
consider
do
that
like
the
it.
goat.
Yeah. No, I know. I can tell. They
The
set
scenes
up-
I've seen have looked really fucking
They
cool.
set up a lot in the episodes that I've seen, and it's gonna. I imagine it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think you would like, dude. The stories for some of these shows are really good, and I think you would like it if you can just get over like how it looks.
See, animation style's not like the issue. The issue is literally just like it's daunting to look at. Like not the show. It's daunting to look at like how many there are and how long they are and how many
Yeah.
good ones there are. And then
It is ridiculous.
It's definitely one of those like, don't get me wrong, we're in the Star Wars community, get it, but anime's one of those communities that they're fucking assholes too. So
I just don't care.
like they're not all.
Granted, I
It's
did
Star
pick a
Wars.
death that like means a lot to a lot of people because Demon Slayer is also like a very popular show.
Yeah.
So it's like okay,
Yeah.
like I did pick one from that. I don't have any other animes on here. Well, I have animated stuff, but not animes on here. But I think you'd really like animes if you sat down and watched them. But yeah, so Demon Slayer is basically there's these demons and they feed on people, and the Demon Slayers train themselves to stop the demons from just killing people. That's basically
Yeah.
the whole point. And then like the main driver of the show is he's trying to turn his sister back into a human.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer is really good, and it's also not that long. Like the
Yeah.
one season, like so if you don't watch it in the movie style, which I would recommend, I think it's better. I think it would be better the movie versus the show. Just watching it straight instead of watching all of it and then like maybe taking a break and then not finishing it. I'd watch it in the movie, just get it over with. That's season 2's done in an hour and a half, and then one season's only 8 episodes, so it's like it's not very long. The longest season is the first one, and it's 24 episodes, and then the next longest season's 12, and there's only like 5.
And they're what, like 25-minute episodes?
Yeah, not even. Because they have like the intro that's fucking 10 minutes long for some reason in animes. The fucking intros are
They
an
do have
hour
a
and
long
half.
ass
They usually have a
intros.
long like intro and then a long outro too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dog, where was the anime at?
So Demon Slayer doesn't call it anything, but I also love the show Blue Lock, and Blue Lock at the end of the show, it always has a Blue Lock additional time, and then it's a goofy ass fucking anime that they just get together and do stupid shit. The one dude's like dressed up as a maid or some bullshit, just like, you guys need to clean your room and this and that, and I'm like, what the fuck what are we doing here? Like, this is what we're paying you guys to make, is this stupid shit. But they all do that.
But I want to stop. There's gonna be people finding our addresses and shit.
It's not stupid. It's just funny. But
You
like,
said it's stupid? Fuck you!
it's not that it's stupid. It's funny, and it's like, all right, so there's a 20-minute episode, and 10 of it's gone with the intro.
Getting a call from Tokyo. Sorry.
The intro, the fucking recap, and then the end credits.
Dude,
and then
recaps are insane in TV
the end
shows,
credits,
dude.
and then the fucking scenes that they have like at the end or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, the episodes
Dude.
are like 12 minutes at most.
Game of Thrones recaps are like 4 minutes, and
Yeah.
it's like, so like they'll start the next season. It'll be like last season, and it's every fucking episode. Like anything that happened that was of anything, just
30
is
minutes
in
of
it.
It's like
recap.
Dude, it's insane.
It's like watching the Kenobi series for the first time, and
Dude.
they have all the prequel movies like in a fucking 10-minute span with the first
All
episode.
right, all right. We're getting way off track.
But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if if we get to them, I'm running through my. If there's no time
Yeah.
to talk, anything.
but yeah, I
Get
was
to your number 7.
my number 7. My number 7, I'm going to Transformers, the first one, when Jazz was ripped in half by Megatron. I forgot about that one. I honestly was hoping you forgot about Transformers.
Why
Not
hell
forgot
would
about.
you
Not
forgot
forgot
that?
about it. That's not what I meant. I
You know who
just.
you're talking to, right?
Well, I
This
didn't
is
think
Mr. Transformia.
I didn't think you were gonna come up with 20 fucking 8. You know what I mean? Like,
I only have like 4 Transformers, and that wasn't one of them. Honestly,
You should know by
Dude.
now. Every time you've done a list on Mind Trick Media, he's got fucking 15 honorable mentions in
Right.
every list.
I guess.
Hey
so.
man, I do my homework. Sorry, I'm academia compared.
Yeah, but you never narrow it down. You just
Yeah,
fucking
I'm sorry,
keep
I
naming
can't.
them.
They're so good though. I just before we started recording. I went, oh fuck, looked at him and named a banger.
You named like 3 more, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But they were ones that are like, I can't not say them now.
yeah.
So
Sorry.
dude, I remember watching that shit. What was it? 07 when that first movie came out.
Dude,
or
in
08?
the context behind
07.
that's so much more fucked up.
Yeah.
Literally, he's like, you want a piece of me? He rips him in half and says, I want 2. What they don't show you is that Transformers can be revived when they're cut in half. You know why Jazz can't be revived?
I know what. You want to tell Eli?
Megatron eats his fucking spark and
Oh,
then
well.
throws his ass into the building.
Well, damn.
That's why they can't revive him. He eats his spark.
Jesus. So he's like, done.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Damn.
Nothing's bringing him back.
That's crazy.
Jazz getting ripped.
That's
in
a
half.
fucking good one.
Was
Fuck.
my number
Damn, you have
7.
2 Transformers on your list. I'm so happy. I'm
I have
so
2
I'm surprised
Transformers.
and
I've
happy.
only said 1 so far.
Well,
Well,
we
you
know.
know the other one. But
Yeah.
I've only said 1 so far.
I got more. So no.
Yeah, Jazz fucked me up. Not gonna lie. Dude, he fucking went up there with him, and he was like a fraction of the size of him, and I was like, dude, what the fuck? And
Can I do an honorable mention right now?
Is it a
Because
Transformer?
I forgot it's Transformers. Dude, Ratchet getting fucked up was
Yeah.
crazy.
Ratchet getting fucked up is crazy.
Yeah.
We got it. Well, I'm not gonna spoil anymore, but
Yeah, don't spoil that part of it.
he
That's
doesn't.
fucked.
He doesn't necessarily die.
Oh, he's dead.
Dickhead.
Oh.
He's trying to fucking hide it.
Yeah, but how he dies.
He doesn't
How-
really
how
die.
he
No, he's
dies-
fucking dead.
How he
all
dies
right?
is gonna mean more to Eli watching it though than not.
Yeah, but I think you're thinking in the wrong way. He's gonna think it's awesome. He's gonna think the character who does that is fucking awesome, because he fucking is. But like, anyway, what was your
I don't know,
7?
Mark Wahlberg, cool. My number 7. Okay, yeah, my number 7. If you've seen anything we've talked about, you know they for sure know that I'm a massive Spider-Man fan. And essentially in everything that Spider-Man has ever done, movie, TV show, comics, there's a thing called canon events that happen to the Spider-Man character in every single form of him. Most of the time it's Uncle Ben dying. So I picked Uncle Ben dying, but I wanted to narrow it down to one specific movie. And I picked the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire when he dies in that movie especially because in that movie he thinks it's one guy that kills him when in reality it was the other one. And essentially him going on this like rampage where it's like he's not really who Spider-Man's meant to be yet, and him like hunting this guy down and like talking shit about him and like just being a fucking menace to society throughout the scene was probably my favorite I mean, the Uncle Ben character in general was a cool character, but the person that plays him in this movie is also just a dope ass dude. So this is probably my favorite interpretation of that event that's happened in all the other Spider-Man things in media. I think that was the best one by far, and I also love the guy that plays the person that kills Uncle Ben in that movie in Sandman. So yeah, that's my number 7.
It's a good pick. I knew some Spider-Man ones we're gonna get on.
Those are my 2 Marvel. I'm already done.
Yeah, I forgot about Marvel. All right, so spoiler warning. I'm going to one that neither of them have seen. Game of Thrones.
I knew those were gonna be on here.
Joffrey Baratheon. You guys don't know, but there's like a very famous. Like, he's listed as a top 5 most piece of shit character.
Well,
of
I've
all
seen
time.
scenes. I know he's a fucking
He's
dick.
a fucking piece of shit,
Yeah.
and he's a great actor too. That's the
Yeah.
only thing that sucks.
People like hate him in real life because of it, and that's how you know you're a good actor.
He can't get jobs because
Yeah.
of it. He had to quit acting.
That's so crazy.
But
bad for
he's
him.
a fucking menace. But so the scene that happens, he's getting married. His like 3rd time try getting married.
Is it to like his sister or something?
No. He's getting married to a fucking bad bitch, dude. But he's like combining.
Jesus.
He's combining these 2 like kingdoms in a way. It's the easiest way to explain it to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And basically he's treating his uncle, who's like a main 3 character, like a piece of shit, because his original wife was
That would her.
he basically like they convinced him to not marry her, and then he like bitch slaps her and treats her like shit, but then he made his uncle marry her.
What the hell?
So then when they're doing this wedding scene, they're like married, and he's making him like be a jester kinda, and then he's making him fill up his wine cup for him while he's already like hammered, and then after he takes a drink of the wine, he just goes and we watch him fucking choke to death.
I've
on
seen the
poison.
scene before. Yeah.
And dude, it like disgusting, like pus and purple eyes.
I see
and,
the
like,
picture of him like choking is
he
like a
looks like
famous
he's a
meme.
balloon about to pop. It's
Yeah.
disgusting. And spoiler again, they basically blame his uncle. I mean, and you know from the get-go his uncle didn't do it, but you like you kind of don't know, but it's kind of obvious who did it. But like they waited like 4 seasons to tell you who did it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was crazy.
What the
And
fuck?
it ended
I
up
forgot at that
it
point.
ended up being his wife, his like
Soon-to-be
the
wife?
the one he was marrying wife's grandma, because she thought he was a piece of shit, which valid. But yeah,
It's a good woman. Right there.
basically, in that show there's some incest, and she basically, they're like, you're going to
Some.
die. We're gonna let you
Some.
choose.
Just
like-
some.
They
Just a little
basically are
bit.
like, we're gonna give you like shit to poison yourself. You're gonna die quick and painlessly. And as she's like dying, she tells his dad, "Oh yeah, I killed your fucking kid," and then it's gone.
Hell yeah.
She's kind of a bad bitch, but
She's a badass for that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
she is. Yeah. I don't want to go any further. There's
Yeah.
there's definitely some more shit in that show, but that one's definitely like I've never been so happy to watch someone fucking die. And honestly, like it's one of those things that every moment he's on TV, you're like, I want him to fucking die. And then they like you get to the point where you're like the scene's happening, you're like, oh fuck, they're doing it. Fuck,
Finally.
fuck.
Finally.
And yeah, yeah, it's a great death scene.
Yeah, no, that picture of him like choking is like a very viral.
I
funny
think
meme.
Family Guy's done it.
They've
like,
done fucking
probably.
everything
You-
at this point.
When you were describing it, it made it seem like they did it.
So the next one technically on my list, I think I'm gonna skip because I know it's on your list too. So I'll just kind of wait a minute.
Oh, you didn't take mine into consideration.
Well, I wasn't.
I'm
I
just
honestly,
kidding.
I didn't think you were gonna put a single Transformer
Oh.
on there.
I'm just kidding.
It's from a show that me and you have
Okay,
seen.
yeah.
And he hasn't seen.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna back it up a little bit, but so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take us to a franchise we haven't talked about yet. In Harry Potter,
Harry Potter.
and we're doing the Deathly Hallows Part 2,
Oh damn!
and it's Severus.
I knew
Snape.
it. I fucking knew it. You have your mother's eyes.
Oh my fucking god, dude! And Snape's one of those people that like, I feel like we're supposed to hate him, And I'm not gonna say this in like
so cool though.
I'm not gonna.
I
I don't want to say it in that like
and then he dies in real life.
gothic undertone way, but I'm like, I've always just been like,
Oh, I love Snape.
I don't know how to say it other than attracted to Snape as a character, motherfucker. In the sense that like I feel like I'm definitely someone who leans to like bad guys more in shows because they're just devilish fucks, and I'm just like, yeah.
It's also harder to play.
Well, I think it's
character.
crazy how like the whole time we're thinking he's this bad guy, and then to wrap it back all the way around.
there's signs all the time that
Yeah.
he's not. I mean, the first episode, the first movie where he's like fighting against the fucking other professor.
I love Snape
during the
so
Quidditch
much.
match, and it's like, dude, the eyes, dude. I was like, you motherfuckers.
Dude, yeah, I love Snape so much. He's one of my favorite characters from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody had that, but
I didn't, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
I saw that on some list when I was looking. I was like, that's a fucking good one. We're on 6, right?
I don't know because my list got fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I skipped one.
I think we're on 6. I got another animal. I'm assuming this is the one you were talking about. Maybe. I'm talking about I Am Legend.
That is.
That is? Okay. I'm talking about I Am Legend. Just to... Damn, dude. That dog dying in I Am Legend is one of the... Dude, I think that movie came out in 2007, so I was like fucking 4 or 5 at that time or something when I first saw it for the first time, dude. Bald. Crying,
Really?
dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm super young, and I've always had like a super like deep connection with like cats and dogs like that, and seeing him build that connection where like there's no one around because it's like the barren wasteland and there's no one that he can talk to, and all he has is this fucking dog. And in the way he had to kill this dog, dude, that was like hard to watch for me. Like that was so just hard to watch for me. The fact that he had to be the one to kill the dog because it had turned into like a zombie or whatever they were called in that movie was just such a fucked up death for me to watch. And it just, that shit hurt so bad for me at that age. And with how much I love animals, that shit just killed me, dude.
Yeah.
And I think it killed a lot of people.
I knew that was
Because that's a very
when you said
famous
another
death.
animal, I'm like, that's
that's a
definitely
very
what it is.
famous one, and that shit ruined me.
Excuse me.
But yeah, the dog from I Am Legend, that's my number 6.
We went like so different directions with these. Like it's really nice that there's been a couple overlaps. Well, there's gonna be a couple overlaps,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's nice. My list is only gonna get wilder, so I can't imagine how. Like I just moved my mic. Sorry, I can't imagine how much wilder this is gonna
Yeah.
get.
So this is where my list takes a hell of a turn.
Yep.
I've had a decent like track with like superhero kind of shit,
Robots
whatever
and-
robots. Nah, so
Giant chickens.
movie Up, when Ellie dies. I don't know if I was just late to the party with this. I mean, I was 8. I don't know if that's too old, but that was when I realized I was gonna die one day.
I thought you just said that
Yeah, didn't you just say that when you were like 11?
with Colton.
No, what I meant by that was that those movies just became like more real in their universes to me.
Because it wasn't animated.
It wasn't.
No, I think he means because like a bunch of the people are characters who just can't fucking die.
Oh, because like they're all superheroes.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
superheroes.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
kind of what I meant.
And like for someone to like be fighting for humans and like just be a regular ass human.
Right. Yeah.
Like he just wanted to like in a way meet his heroes and like he did, but it was like too late.
Yeah.
yeah. No, but for this
Fuck me
one,
up saying that.
It was too
this
late.
one made me finally like realize that one day I'm going to die. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing that anybody can do about it.
Here we go.
And it's yeah, right. It's also possible that I could be alone for a long time,
Okay.
and that puts
That means he's
Listen,
gonna die before you.
that puts genuine what?
You said you're gonna be alone, which would mean he wouldn't be
with
here
my
anymore.
significant other.
Oh, well,
Oh,
That's what I
thanks.
meant.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about him. He's all right.
But yeah, I don't know. It hit me hard. That was like when I finally had the realization.
Oh my god, do you have a realization death movie? We both have one and they're both fucking stupid. No, they're like no, they're
Well,
not
I mean,
stupid, but like
in the very first episode, we talked about how I feel about death, and no, I do not.
Oh yeah, I'm up again.
I feel like I have more like death with kids and anything, but then death with like animated stuff gets me more than like real death. I'm just so desensitized to like real death because of my mom. That fucking true crime, dude.
Yeah.
The ID channel, she fucked me up.
Yeah, I
So-
grew up on horror movies, so.
Okay, so my 5, I'm going to go back to Transformers. It's Ironhide. Ironhide dying. Dude, fucked me up. And I was, dude, like, we talked about Bumblebee getting shot at, and, like, we obviously didn't get that scene, but, dude, when he's shooting at Bumblebee, like, consistently, I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way you're going to kill Bumblebee, too. Do you imagine if they killed Ironhide? Say they showed the twins. And then Bumblebee just back to back, I guess, because there's 4 characters. Dude, would have fucking just died.
It's been on the floor, just inconsolable watching this
Right.
fucking movie.
But, dude, like,
Yeah, I just
Oh
remember
my
'cause
God.
the point at the movie where they do it.
yeah.
Is so fucked
Because,
up.
like, dude, he comes back, he's supposed to be, like,
What you must realize, my Autobot friends, is we were never going to win the war. So a deal had to be made with Megatron. And he just blindsides him, you fucking pussy. Fucking pussy. You fucking pussy.
yeah.
He's got real life beef.
Dude, and that's the thing, is he's a fucking prime. He would have won. He would 1v1 to everybody in the fucking world. Literally the 2 dudes, that the fight at the end is the only 2 dudes in the fucking, like, anywhere near him that had a shot. And honestly,
I don't think there was any.
honestly, still no. He would have 1v1. I think he fucks both of them up too. He literally can fuck up anybody, and
I
you
mean,
went.
Megatron. I mean, he was fucking up Optimus, and then Megatron had to blindside his ass with him focused on Optimus. to kill him.
That's the
Or
thing.
to-
Optimus
yeah.
made a dumb. He was making irrational decisions, but
That's
he
because
also
he-
just
I mean,
he also just murked like 38 robots in a row.
Yeah, you
He was
also-
like, all right, we gotta go fight this fucking guy now.
right. I mean, he just flew through everything and killed everybody in the process, and then was like, oh, now I got to take on Sentinel. But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, Ironhide just fucking melting right there, dude. Jesus Christ. So.
See, every time I watch it, I almost want to skip it. I'm like, I don't want to watch this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. Fucking piss me off.
That's how I feel with my next one.
Oh, fuck.
You always want to skip it when it comes on.
I don't want to skip it. I
I
actually,
don't want to look at it when I'm.
I don't want to look at it.
I want to close my ears or not look at it.
I mean, I could just say it if you want me to.
Did you already say 2?
Yeah.
I
Oh.
mean,
You did 7 and 6?
I don't know where we're
Or
at.
No.
6 and 5?
6 and 5.
There you go.
I mean, I could say my next one if you want me
I
to.
mean, if you want, that's up to you.
So, Star Wars. My first Star Wars one on this list
I
at
know where we're
4.
going. This is the one that I moved.
You moved?
Yeah, I ended up pulling it out of my top 10 because I knew you were gonna have it.
Which movie do you think it's in?
Oh, it's not the same scene. The one I moved wasn't in a movie.
Was it 5's?
I mean, maybe. Why don't you say yours? Because it's your turn.
First Star Wars movie.
That was in. It's an honorable mention.
When Qui-Gon dies to Darth Maul.
I figured that would be
Dude.
in here.
When we went to the theaters to watch it, I've seen this movie how many times? Go to the theaters. I wanted to cry at the theaters. Dude, I literally sit there. I'm watching it. I can hear the lightsabers before they happen. I know what it's going to be. Get chills instantly. Get chills thinking about it right this fucking second, talking about it. Like, oh man, like I just know it's coming. And then it's like, you said you didn't want to look at it. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I don't know what it is, but like when I'm watching the scene, it like sucks you into it to where like you can't look away. And then he gets stabbed right in the chest, and I'm just like, fuck.
It's like when I was a kid and all those cold showers I took, telling myself that I couldn't make Anakin not change.
Me watching Revenge of the Sith. Me watching Revenge of the Sith for the 1,767th time. And he still turns to the dark side.
I think he's not going to change.
But dude, like,
Me telling him not to change your network and you hit your hand up against the back of the shower.
but yeah, dude, that shit just, it fucks me up watching that shit. Every time it just hurts so bad. Because it's like, dude, like, obviously the movies were made in reverse, but if you pay attention to the chronological story, like, if he doesn't die, this changes a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, dude. Like, and we just like, dude, he's one of my favorite characters. And we've talked about it on the Mind Trick Media podcast that it's like, why is he one of your favorite characters? Not even in the movies that long. And it's like, dude, it's just everything else.
Yeah.
And then the movies, he's great in the movie.
Yeah,
but then
I would
just
say
everything else on top of it.
I would say
dude.
like 97% of Star Wars fans don't know who Qui-Gon is.
Like truly is.
Yeah.
Just like you have the surface level of the movie, and then everything. Dude.
Yeah. And then like I don't mean that in a way to be like shaming you or anything. I just mean
Don't
it in a
know.
way that, like, yeah, it's not like I'm gatekeeping. You don't know.
I'm
I'm not
gatekeeping.
We
telling
did
you.
the Master and Apprentice book on Mind Trick Media. You guys can go watch it.
Cheap plug.
Like, subscribe. No.
This
Click
man
the
right here will put
notification
it right
bell.
Tell
here.
your mom about
Yeah,
me,
Mind
huh?
Trick Media right there.
That video will be right here.
If that doesn't go there, that's your fault.
I'm gonna blame it on somebody else.
Wow.
My number 5 is, I think this might have been what we were talking about earlier. I'm going with Gladiator. Is that what we were talking about? Yeah. This could go a couple ways, but I'm going with Maximus in the end. I think
Spoilers.
That's one of the movies. I'm like, you haven't seen it. That's your
yeah,
fault.
that's one. That's
I know, right?
fucking old as shit.
That
but
is
that's-
my fault for not watching that movie. Not gonna
They
lie.
made a sequel, and the sequel came out 38 years after it. So
Yeah, Maximus's death in Gladiator. To me, it's number 5 on my list because it's a personal list and just a mashup list. But I think, to me, that's the best cinematic death I've seen as far as like weight.
And so I told you that earlier. I said that was what I said. I was like, it's a top 5 death in cinema, no matter what.
Yeah,
it's
that
100%.
I think
top
that's
5
up there
death
like
in
for
cinema.
sure. Just the weight of
That's
what
one
it
of
meant.
the greatest movies of all time.
Just the grouping of actors in that fucking scene alone. Is
That
just,
might be a top 3 favorite movie of mine all time.
It's in my top 5. It's fucking incredible.
You need to watch that.
I do want to watch
It's incredible.
Sorry.
Even if
yeah,
it's
no,
a
that's fine.
spoil, like
I
it's,
think I
it's
actually
good.
already knew that,
I mean, it's kind of hard not to know it.
Right.
At this point,
but I definitely do want to watch that movie. There's so many fucking movies I want to watch. It's ridiculous. There's so many
And
shows I want to watch. Like, fuck.
I'm not gonna say more about it because you do need to watch this movie. He doesn't die in like a sad way or anything, or like a bad way. Like it's a really beautiful fucking death in this movie, and that's
okay.
why
I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, it's sad as shit.
well, obviously it's
Like-
sad he dies, but like he doesn't
No,
die
but-
like going out like a bitch or a loser or like.
Oh hell no.
He goes out on top.
He goes
and in
out
a
as the third king of
yeah,
Rome.
and it's a beautiful scene.
Dude, the story with Russell Crowe and going to the Vatican, one of the top 5
I
stories
know,
I've
that's
ever
cool as
heard
fuck.
from like, an actor outside of their role. Once you watch it, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So fuck you for spoiling. That was not technically my number 2 on my list.
Yeah.
So fuck you. I'm gonna steal one of yours now.
Okay.
We going with the big and the bad, and it's Breaking.
It's definitely
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Wheelchair explosion. No, I'm not. He dies from a wheelchair explosion.
Who are we talking
We're
about?
talking about Gustavo.
That's not on my list.
really.
I put 2 from Breaking Bad, and that's not on my list. That's why I said
That is the number 1 death in that show.
You tried to steal one from him. And you didn't even
I
get-
know.
you didn't
too
even-
fucking
Honestly,
good.
awesome.
Did he even scratch the top 3? Would you put that at 3 or lower?
Oh, in the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the number 1 death. He has 2 favorite, like personal favorites that are better.
I
than
think
it.
that's the coolest death. I think the
It's
two.
the most
There's 2 more.
meaningful death.
No. I'll explain
If
why.
he doesn't die,
Oh well, yeah, obviously.
that's
Well,
what I'm saying,
fucked.
that is the death of the show.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think there's 2 of them. There's one death that you're not even gonna see coming. I don't think that's the most like influential death, kind of. And then there's one that's like
I
this.
think I might know what you're talking about, and then the other one is a very fucked up death
Maybe. We'll see.
on a bed.
We'll see.
You
You never know.
Gustavo explosion.
Incredible
Fucking
scene.
crazy.
Incredible scene.
That was one of the only scenes in that show where they kind of go like, I don't know a better word than supernatural with it. The fucking like come out and he like you see like this half of his face. And
I'm like,
just,
he walked
just
out of
his
that?
thigh, and then it pans over and it's just his fucking skull.
Dude, when I was
Shit.
when I was first watching this show for the very first time, and I saw he's like, oh, and he explodes, and they show the door fly off. I'm like, dude, that was a massive explosion. And he walks out. I'm like, no, there's no way.
And then hit one half of his body's just
And then it-
obliterated.
and it just
and I'm like,
pans the
oh,
camera.
okay. And he just goes bang.
And half of his face is just fucking gone.
it's like, oh, damn.
I watched a behind the scenes video on that scene. It took him like 19 tries or whatever to get that perfect, and it was awesome. Such a good scene.
The fuck? I'm now wondering what the fuck your 2 deaths are. Yeah. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I'm here. Another one that I don't know if any. I think you may have seen it, but I don't know. This one hits hard just because I got into it late, but it was really, really fucking good. We're going to Planet of the Apes, War of Planet of the Apes, and we're going with The Death of Caesar.
I didn't even think of this.
I thought about it last minute in the shower, and I was like, "Oh my god, where's my phone at? I need to fucking write this
He's
down."
washing his hair. He's like,
He's
Caesar.
getting soap
Taking a
everywhere.
cold shower, crying.
That's a good one, dude.
Dude, The Death of Caesar. He gets to watch the ending and the next chapter of his kingdom in their new home, and he watches it as he like passes away. And I'm just like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Caesar.
Alright, that was 4, right?
I have no clue.
I think that was 4.
That was 4.
Yes, but
because
the reason I thought it was fucked up is because you took Gladiator, so that fucked my
Yeah.
stuff up.
Number 4 on my list, I kind of went a little out of order on accident. I didn't realize, but the number 4 on my list is from The Walking Dead. And I have 2 from The Walking Dead. This is not the one you're thinking of. I already know what you're thinking. But I went, I went with Shane Walsh dying in season 2 of The Walking Dead. I chose this one because I think it's the moment that Rick's brain sort of shifts into, I'm in an apocalypse now, and I can't keep being the good guy. I can't keep being just the normal cop that's trying to make everything right and trying to play by the rules and all that shit. This is an apocalypse now, and I think him essentially, well, not essentially did, him killing his best friend in that way, and him saying, like, him screaming at him, like, you did this to us, you made me do this, like, that's where you see just the shift in Rick Grimes that we know today, where he's like this psychotic fucking just absolute apocalypse maniac. And I think that was the turning point for him that really did it in for him, that set the tone for the rest of The Walking Dead as a whole. That's my number 4. I think you already said your number 4,
I
right?
did say my number 4.
Do you want to jump to 3 then?
Yeah, I'll jump to 3.
Okay.
I just want.
You're the only one that has like. No, we should all be even now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've all said 4, and then he's now on
Yeah.
3.
So, my number 3, love the show Arrow. I have Oliver.
just coming.
I have Oliver Queen at number 3.
I told you.
Dude, so Crisis on Infinite Earths, he gets told he's gonna
That's
die.
what it's called.
Crisis on Infinite, he gets told he's gonna die. He goes through there on planet or Earth 38, I think, and that's where Supergirl is, and they're just getting fucking the planet's basically getting erased. This is what's happening, and they're trying to get everybody off the planet, and they're getting fucking killed by all these like demon-looking things. I don't even know what the hell they are. To be
They look
honest.
like Dementors.
Yeah.
From
Don't
Harry
know what
Potter,
the hell
kinda.
they are.
They're
Whatever.
Like these, like ghostly looking devil things.
Nice.
Dude, and he's sitting there, he's got his bow and arrow just fucking sniping these bitches like a motherfucker, and they're like, it's time to go. There's this guy, like, he's overviewing everything. He's called the Monitor, and he's like the all-powerful being, and he's like, it's time to go, and he's like, is everybody off the planet yet? He's like, no, but we need to go, and he's like, then it's not time to leave yet. And then we don't even get to see it. We don't even get to see the scene of him getting just fucked up by these fucking demons, and then all of a sudden he's back in his bunker with everybody finally there with him, and he looks like fucking hell. Looks like hell, and then he dies on the table in front of his daughter that is a fucking infant, by the way, that was brought back from the future as a grown woman. Gets to watch her father die as an adult, and she's only a year old in real time. It's fucking crazy as hell. Bring his ass back to life. Lucky he didn't go crazy. Because of the fucking, what are those pits called? I don't even remember. Lazarus pits, yeah. And then he becomes something else. He's been saying this whole show he has to become something else. It's like his whole thing that he becomes the Arrow. But no, he actually legitimately becomes something else in the Spectre to defeat the, I guess he didn't defeat him in the end, but what he did was he saved Earth Prime, right? So he's going against the Anti-Monitor, and he saves Earth Prime, I'm pretty sure, is their Earth, in the end by defeating him. But he technically doesn't defeat him. But what he does is he saves the current Earth that they're at, and everybody from every Earth is on this planet. and then they have like the huge final showdown. So it's a 5-episode arc. In episode 4, he goes against the Anti-Monitor, and I don't want to say they're going toe to toe. They're not really fighting. It's a lot of mystical powers that are happening more than like a physical fight. And there's like this huge ass explosion, and he's like just his human body that dies in the as the Spectre. But he saved the Earth, and just the one Earth. And then when they defeat the Anti-Monitor in the last episode that he made happen, he made real and able to happen with every other superhero, is where the multiverse is able to come back.
That was a lot.
There was a lot. But dude, like the meaning of his death for the entire multiverse, him becoming the Spectre, and technically he still can be the Spectre, but like his human body just like gave out on him in the end after he'd already died and came back to life. But
Yeah.
it's fucking nuts. And like, dude, like I love that show the whole way through. Great ass show.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that at work. He had guessed that would be your number 1.
Nope.
I don't know if I said number 1. I definitely knew it was going to be high.
Yeah.
I do have another person from the show on my list.
Yeah, there's a couple people I could think of, but we'll see.
But like the meaning of his death for the show is significant for the story and significant for the multiverse.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love that shit so much. So do you want me to say my number 2, or do you want me to just... You guys have to say 3.
Yeah, we have to say 3.
I
He
said
just
3 in a
finished
row in the snake, so...
Then we can just keep going this way then to reset it. So I'm on my number 3 now. This is the death I was talking about, where I said I think this is the most influential in Breaking Bad. When I say that, I feel like this is the most influential for Walter White's character in himself. I'm going with Jane Margolis. Her death on the bed. I think this is the most influential death in Breaking Bad because I personally feel like this is the switch in his brain where he goes from still being Walter White-esque to full-on fucking Heisenberg. That's where I think it happens because Vince Gilligan's a fucking genius when it comes to shooting and just like camera work and just overall setup for scenes in general. You can see it pan to him, like it's her choking on her own vomit from them doing heroin or whatever, and like he rolled her over on accident, shaking Jesse to try and get him awake, and so she starts choking on her own vomit, and
Sorry,
he can.
spoilers.
Well, I talked about this before.
Yeah.
You can see her choking on her own vomit from the overdose or whatever, and it pans to Walter, and you can see him looking down at her like, oh my god, like he's like so like holy shit, I need to save her, but then you can see him like stop, and you can tell in his brain that this could be a play for me, because he was losing Jesse, and this if I let her die, he's gonna fucking lose it, and I'm gonna have him back, and he's gonna be right
It's
there
so
back
fucked
for me.
up.
It is very
It's
fucked
so
up,
fucked up.
and that's why it's my number 3, because I feel like this is the most, by far for me at least, the most influential death in Breaking Bad that shifted Walter's mind to full-on Heisenberg psychopath, like I'm gonna just take advantage of every situation possible and manipulate as much as possible. And I think you can literally see it in the scene, him shift to that mentality, and he steps back and just sits there and watches her die, and it's a fucking rough scene, and that's why I picked it for my number 3.
And there's actually like 3 other deaths now that I'm thinking of, and I don't know which one
They're
you
all
picked.
they're all fucked. There's many
there's
good
like
ones.
5 deaths in that show.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
like just fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
But
There's a lot of fucked up ones.
shit.
You're number 3 now, I think.
So I'm just gonna say the Gladiator one because like that's what mine was too, Maximus. They do to show his death, and like they kind of start to show his crossover into the next life.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it's so like, oh dude, it's so like, it's so many things on top of it being sad because that's what, like, he's dying obviously, and he's such a good character, but to show that like through and through, like he was thinking about his wife and his child, and for him that's like where he wants to be, and so he
He's like coming
even
home.
though like you don't want to die, like he finally gets to accept death.
Mhm.
Like he
He
kind of
got
wants
peace.
to die.
Yeah, he got peace.
But he got not even revenge. It's revenge and vengeance, and knowing that like him being back with his wife and kid is just the true peace he always wanted.
That's why I said it was such a beautiful death, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And like, it obviously was sad, but like, you know, in that moment he wasn't sad.
Yeah.
He was very fucking.
He was
happy.
ready.
Yeah, and he was ready to finally go back to.
Oh, dude, that movie's so good.
It's so good, dude. You need to watch it. It's so good.
So my other one,
Number 2.
2.
technically Gladiator was 2. This was technically 3. Something neither of you have seen. We are going to Lord of the Rings. We're going to Fellowship of the Ring. Yep. And we're going with Boromir, who is played by. Why am I blanking? Doesn't matter.
I can't help you here.
It's Sean Bean. I don't know why I was blanking.
Oh.
Famous for dying and everything.
Yeah.
Kind of just who he is. On the other hand, also just great in everything he's in. I fucking love Sean Bean. Yeah. So basically, do you guys know what Lord of the Rings is about?
I mean, I know like
I
the
have
general
not
concept.
a single clue what it's
So
about.
basically, it's like hobbits and orcs and elves and shit. There's like all the magical things you could think
The
of.
only thing I know from that, I'm sorry to interrupt you, is the scene where they have like the bread. And
He's like,
they're like, one
That's
bite.
elvish bread. One bite can fill a man's stomach for 2 weeks. He's
They're
like,
like,
how many you
you
had?
had?
He said,
4.
I've had 4 pieces.
I've seen that scene
That
too.
shit's hilarious.
But Boromir is kind of this weird character because they're building this fellowship, and basically they have this ring, and it's like, to explain it to you, it's like the ring of all rings. The person who holds this ring has like the power of Sauron, who's like this ancient guy who has tons of power and rules, and it's kings and queens and knights and shit. And basically, like, this little like hobbit has it, and they build this fellowship of, hey, we need to take this to this mountain and fucking throw it into this like volcano, basically. And there's this character that they bring in, and he's like known as like the warrior of warriors. And basically what happens is the ring is like possessed by the Sauron entity, and basically anybody who puts it on, number one, he can see where you're at. So basically he can send his like minions after you. But number two, it starts to tempt you to do things. And so because it basically tempts you to have all the power over everything. And basically the ring is in the presence, the guy is starting to be like, I need the fucking ring. I need it because I need to be the ruler and stuff like that. And in the end, he ends up defending the hobbits and everybody, and he ends up like taking a bunch of arrows whilst like it's one of those scenes where he's like gets shot and continues fighting and killing and gets shot again and continue, and it goes down to where he's like on his knees like and is just taking the arrows, and it sets a tone for Lord of the Rings and how the journey to Mordor is going to keep going. And sorry if I fucked anything up. That was a one-time watch through all the extended editions, and I didn't leave my couch for a while. Also terrible with names, so if I fucked anything up, also sorry. But yeah, Lord of the Rings is one of those things that I just never like watched, and when I watched it, I was like, damn, that's what they were talking about. It's so fun. I know it's long. The extended editions, it's like 11 hours for 3 movies. It's fucking long. It's worth it though. It's so good. That death is a very good death. It sets the tone for how the ring plays, how Sauron plays, and yeah, kind of how the idea of the ring and how it's going to keep going, and you know, Mr. Frodo of the Shire. Anyway,
All right, well, we're at my number 2 now, and for my number 2, I'm going back to The Walking Dead. I'm picking the most obvious one that you can think of if you've ever seen The Walking Dead, and I'm going with Glenn. Glenn's death was one of the most shocking deaths for me personally because he's my favorite character in all of The Walking Dead. And going into that season, having watched it like live up to that point, there was like rumblings of like, because like the comics are out and like he dies in the lineup in the comics, and so everyone was sort of talking about it, but like they were also thinking like there's no way they can kill off Glenn. He's such a good character, and he's been having such like breakthroughs with like his relationship, and him and Maggie just like they got pregnant, and literally like 3 episodes before this he had just like escaped like death essentially. Like people thought he had died with the way they had portrayed it, so we thought, oh, he had just essentially been like escaped a death. They're not gonna kill him off after faking that death right after. So it gets to the lineup with Negan, and he's doing the eeny meeny miny mo shit with his bat, and it gets to Abraham, and he essentially picks Abraham and kills him with his bat. And not that I was like, yes, because I love Abraham. Abraham's a really good character, and it sucked to see him go because I genuinely do think Abraham's a great character. But I was just so happy that Glenn didn't die because there was so much speculation that it could be him. And I was just thankful that it wasn't him, but I was still sad about Abraham, obviously. And then a few things happen, and essentially Negan's like, it gets back to him like, well, I gotta kill one of you again. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, back to it. And just swings this bat as hard as possible down onto Glenn's face. And I was like, oh my God, dude, why? I literally put my hands on my head and was like, are you fucking serious? And I didn't watch the show again for 6 years. And then I did a rewatch. But just that scene is so fucked up. Knowing Maggie's pregnant with his child, and they just found out, and they were literally on their way to the hilltop, which is a settlement there, to essentially get her in to like get checked out by this doctor that they had there. And they're on the way there, and Negan gets them before they get there. And he's like, after he gets hit with his bat, his eyes like popped out of his fucking head, and he just looks fucked up, dude. And his final words are, Maggie, I will find you. And then Negan hits him again, and he's dead. And it was so fucked up to watch live, knowing that like my favorite character is gone. And that's why it's my number 2. One of the most fucked up deaths I've seen, and just for a personal level, just pure shock out of me.
Yeah, I've never watched any of The Walking Dead, and I knew about that shit when it
Yeah,
happened.
dude,
I was seeing it
fucked
everywhere. I was like, oh my God.
Shout out Invincible. Shit's fire.
Yeah, he's cool. That.
So I'm going to go back to my number 3 for a second because I forgot to say the fucking one line that they have a dialogue with Oliver defeating the Anti-Monitor. So the entire show, when he goes up against these people that are failing the city that he's trying to protect, he literally he goes up to all of them and will say, you have failed this city, before he does whatever he does to them. And
That's fucked.
right, he says that to every single one of them. So he's, like I said, they're not really like fighting. They're like there's a bunch of mystical shit happening, whatever. And he looks at him and he says, you have failed this universe. And then that's when the fucking explosion happens.
Damn.
And I was just like, damn.
That's fucked.
Yeah. Okay, so staying with the same universe, also still Arrow. My number 2, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. Quentin Lance.
Oh,
Quentin
I forgot
Lance.
about that.
So Quentin Lance is the cop in the early seasons that's just after him. He's put on, like, that's his job, is
Fucking
to
Arrow
like
guy.
get him. He fucking hates him. He doesn't know who he is. Fucking hates him, all this other shit, and then he's like heavily involved with Oliver's like daily life, like, and he doesn't know he's there. Just fucking hates him. Is talking all this shit, like
That's Laurel's dad. So
hella
the
shit.
guy his girlfriend that he cheated on with her sister, and then got her sister killed, and then that's their dad.
Okay, I want to
So,
tell the
there's
story.
that.
Anyway,
just a tiny bit of context.
Yeah.
He fucking hates him.
fucking hates him in person. He hates his like day self and he hates his night self. Well, eventually he finally gives out in season 2, I believe, and he starts going to, I think they call him the Arrow at that point, not the Hood anymore, for help. Because there's crooked cops. He can't do this shit. They need him to help them with shit. And he goes to him, they're helping each other, and then he has like a rebound where he's like after him again, and then it's like Then he finds out who he is, and then they're like,
Yeah, you're protecting my daughter. Just can't do it to you.
yeah. And so the scene where he dies, they had went through all this shit, and he's laying on the hospital bed, and they're prepping him for surgery, getting ready. Oliver goes and has a talk with him real quick. And Oliver had a kid at this point, and Quentin says to him, he said, "You turned out to be a pretty good dad." And Oliver looks at him and is like, "I had a great example." And he looks at him, he's like, "Yeah, your old man was a good man." And he's like, "I wasn't talking about my dad."
I feel like you're gonna cry.
Oh man, dude. No, I'm gonna be okay. But
Doesn't
I,
sound like
I
it.
cried. I've seen that. I've seen it through twice, 3 times maybe. Cried every time I've watched it, because like just building up to the point.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my god, like it's ridiculous. I wasn't talking about your dad.
You're talking about how he dies?
He doesn't even make it to surgery.
Oh, he dies on the
He
table.
dies on the table when he walks out of the room. And then fucking Oliver turns around. Hella spoilers for season 7. He gets arrested
What the fuck?
because he admitted that he was the Arrow.
Mm.
Like,
To
he
the-
like,
so
outed himself.
He outed himself to the FBI to like help them defeat the guy that they were trying to defeat, because he needed help. On top of that, and the contingency plan was all of his fellow like superheroes and stuff would, because all the shit that they're doing is like illegal.
They're vigilantes.
Right.
Not superheroes.
And
Even though they try to like take Superman to fucking.
so basically, it was Oliver goes to prison to give all of his friends and stuff a free pass.
Immunity.
And that was the deal they made. Yeah, that was the deal they made with the FBI agent. So they're about to go arrest him, and then the doctor comes out and is like, "Lance didn't make it," or like whatever. And I'm just like,
Crazy
oh.
thing to be laughing about.
And I'm laughing to
He's
not
trying
cry.
not to cry. Yeah.
I know why.
And the FBI agent just looks at Oliver. He's like, "This doesn't change our arrangement." And they put him in cuffs. He goes outside and just is on national television and tells everybody that he's the Arrow. And then he goes to jail. The first half of season
Wow.
7, it's him in prison. It's fucking nuts. But, oh my God. Quentin dying, dude. Fuck that. Fuck that.
So you want to get your number 1 before you cry because of this one?
So, we all know what my number 1 is because I haven't said it yet when I said it was on
Do
my
we?
list. Huh?
Go.
Kanan.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are we talking about?
Kanan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that was your one.
That was my
You
one.
said
That's probably
10.
fucked up.
Dude.
I did. It wasn't my 10. It was just like a
You were
layup.
just talking about it.
No, I mean just because you said it first.
I know,
And he was like,
it's fucked.
"Oh, fuck."
Dude, Kanan gave it all. Got to see his wife the last time. Dude, you just see his eyes. They're like grayed out, and then they just turn back to the green that they were.
That's crazy.
And you can
So
you can
fucked.
just see it in her facial expression, that she knows that he promised her that he would see her again, and then it happened. And then he
We need
just
to chill.
then he just force pushes her to the ship, and Ezra like catches her, and then he just holding the fire, looks at everybody real quick, and then just force pushes the whole ship away, and the fucking explosion just
It's a badass way to go out there.
yeah, it's oh my God.
Oh,
Dude.
fuck, that's
They are bright, but like, fuck.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That shit hit hard. Both those shits hit hard.
Yeah.
My top 2 were like pretty significant, not gonna lie.
Yeah. But before I get to my 1, I had 2 that I had to leave off because I didn't want to spoil him, Tyler, because one of them we're currently watching, and 2 I know for a fact he's going to watch eventually, and he just hasn't got to it yet. So I'm not going to get into them because I don't want to spoil them. But I had 2 that I left off this list for that reason, but they would have, for a fucking fact, been on my list. And if you had watched either of these shows, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the shows. I had 2 that I left off. 1, Better Call Saul. I'm assuming you can guess what that death is. And then number 2, Dexter. Obviously, we know what death that is if you've seen that show and like that show. That's by far my favorite show. To me, that would have been my number 1, but I wanted to leave it off just so it didn't spoil him on anything.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Even though it fucking got
Yeah,
spoiled anyway.
'cause his
Fucking
dumbass
bullshit.
was-
Okay, it
I'm
was not
kidding,
my
I'm
fault.
kidding, I
We
know.
were doing research, and
He was doing research
I
on the
saw
list.
a picture And so like it was like a
Don't talk
movies
too
and
much about it,
TV
just in
shows and
case.
stuff like that, and like I was going through and it was like normal movies, normal TV shows, and I went through 400 websites. I hadn't seen a single Dexter.
Say just don't say the name. Don't
And
say
then
the scene.
I saw the picture
Yeah.
and saw the name, and I'm like, "Fuck!" and flipped out of my phone.
I was
like, fuck.
before on the way here. I was in the shower and I go into my room and I look at my phone and I just see his name and I just see fuck, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? So I click the text message and it's like, I think I just saw the Dexter one or whatever, and I'm like, I literally put my hands on my head and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Dude, I was so mad.
That's one of the most pissed I've ever been.
Dude, I was so upset because those of it, I don't want to say it because there's people that still could have not seen the show, and this was by far the most shocked I've ever been to a death in my entire life because of the way they set this death up. And when I was watching this because I had never been spoiled on it, when I watched it for my first watch through, and to think that it wasn't going to happen this way, and to see it happen how it happened, I dropped to my knees and had my mouth wide open in pure shock at this death. And I'm not going to get into more of the details or anything because I don't want to spoil those two. I have not seen it because I genuinely believe this is one of the most shocking deaths that you could ever see if you're into this show. And that would have been my one by far. But I left it off just to save him, which he fucked himself anyway.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know how it happens. But he saw a
I know
picture of it.
nothing other than the person, which still blows.
But
So
I'll get to my number one now, and well, the Better Call Saul one. To those that know, no, I don't want to spoil for him, but to those that know, no. But my number one for this list, I went back to Breaking Bad, and there's some other crazier deaths, more fucked up deaths in the show, more traumatizing for character deaths, I would say. But for my number one favorite, best, critical, all that list, considering I believe, and I feel like a lot of people believe Breaking Bad is the best show of all time, I'm going with Walter White's death. I think the way he dies is just such like, that's just how you end a show. And the slow pan away from him and just the fact that he got his revenge in the end. I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil anybody that hasn't seen it somehow yet. But yeah, him. But just the way they show his death, and I just feel like it's such like a perfect ending to just a perfect show, and I had to put it at my number one if I couldn't have the other ones. And yeah, just seeing such a beautiful end to an incredibly written character. I think it literally could not have gotten better than the way they ended that show, and that's why that's my number one. And to finish my list off with that.
So I know we've been here for a while. I want to run through these like quick.
Don't you have a number one to say?
I know, but I want to run through.
Oh,
my
okay.
honorable mentions.
Just name them.
I'm gonna run through.
He has like
Number
28
one,
honorable mentions.
I didn't know where you were going. I will add Hank to that list.
Mhm.
That was also I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised.
He's like, Walt, you're the smartest man I've ever known, and you're too stupid to realize he made a decision. He made his mind up 10 minutes ago. Do what you got to do. Dead. Fucked up, dude.
Yeah. So I think this is maybe. I think this is a top 5 death in cinema, and it's the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
It's iconic as fuck. I did not put it in my list. It would have 100% in, but so many people died in it in one scene that I didn't want to pick a specific character, and I didn't want to cheat and it be like 20, 50 fucking people at once. So I didn't include it. Obviously, if you've seen it, you fucking know. So next, Gladiator, Maximus's family.
yeah.
Fucked up
When
scene,
we
dude.
were talking about the movie,
that
was the other one.
I picked Maximus's death because I love Maximus that much as a character.
Mm-hmm.
The scene with his family is fucked.
Traumatizing.
Fuck everybody. Fuck
Fucking
everything. The
traumatizing.
first time I saw that, I was like, fuck.
I watched the movie and I was like, no way.
Anyway, Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift Han.
Damn.
That was one of those ones that I was like, you fuckers. Anyway, next, Transformers: Dark of the Moon, Megatron and Sentinel. That is a crazy fucking scene. I remember legitimately just going, just in the movie theater. It's like, oh fuck. He's like, time to find out, and just fucking yanks that shit at him. Fuck. Anyway, next, Harry Potter: Sirius Black. Sad as fuck.
That was
God
sad.
damn it.
Very sad.
Next, Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader. Obviously, iconic. Next, Star Wars: Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon Jinn. Already said. Next, I have a movie. I added this one because I actually shed a fat tear during this movie, and it was recent. It's called We Live in Time. It's a movie with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. Rundown, you're never going to see it, so it don't matter. Man, woman, the woman, the guy.
Dies.
Huh?
Dies.
So the guy is like walking on the side of the street, and she runs him over with her car. So she like shows up at the hospital, and he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Because he doesn't know. And he's like, she's like, "Oh, I hit you with my car." So they end up like getting together, and they end up having a kid together, and then she finds out she has cancer. And the movie does like a bunch of like jumping back and forth of her wanting to live her life and him wanting to be a dad and their kid not to know, but their kid to experience life. And they fucking kill her, and that shit was sad. Next, Saving Private Ryan, Captain Miller, Tom Hanks. That's a great one.
That was a thought of mine. Yeah.
If you've ever seen the movie My Girl, it's a movie with Macaulay Culkin as a kid. We talked about this earlier. He is in love with this one girl. They have like a fake wedding kind of thing. And he ends up getting stung by a bee, which he is allergic to, and he ends up dying. And there is a very famous casket scene where he's in the casket and she is screaming, his glasses. Where's his glasses? He needs his glasses. And
Can't see without his glasses.
I already said it. Fuck when they kill kids in movies. Anyway. Next, right back to it, Marley and me.
I want to add to it. So you said fuck when they kill kids in the movies. So this movie fucked me up as a kid watching Bridge to Terabithia.
I saw that.
So honorable mention for me, I guess, when she fucking, I don't even remember her name. I haven't seen that movie since basically then because I said, fuck that. I'm not watching that again.
Yeah.
Dude, when she fucking died, oh my God. Shit fucked me up.
Next, Marley and Me. Fuck them.
Never watching that movie.
Next, Star Wars The Clone Wars 5s.
5s, yeah. Is the other Star Wars The Clone Wars on there too?
No, I didn't have another one.
You don't? Clone 99?
Yeah, that could have been there. Yeah, you know how many I wrote fucking down?
Well, that's there.
He's
on
already
my
got
list.
48.
Dude, Clone 99 dying. Fucking Haley cried like a bitch watching that.
Next, Twilight. The scene where they fight in the last movie, and Carlisle jumps across, and the head vampire. Dude, they show this scene. They're fucking assholes. He jumps across this barrier, and because you haven't seen it, right?
Not that one, though.
He fucking. Do you care?
No.
They jump across,
Not at all.
and you see where the vampires like twist and fall down together, and then you just see a body hit.
I think I've seen this scene,
And then
actually.
it pans up to the guy, and it pans down, and he just has Carlisle's hand in his.
Oh,
or his head in
I've
his
seen
fucking
this
hand.
scene.
And I was like, oh fuck! Yeah. Sorry.
I've seen that scene.
Yep. Crazy.
Yeah.
Next, Harry Potter, Dumbledore. Obviously.
Obviously.
Crazy. Next, Uncut Gems.
Oh, that's a good
That is a great one.
That was
it almost made my top 10.
Bro, that was the most
You know what
shocked
Uncut
I've ever
Gems
been
is?
watching a movie.
It's a very serious Adam Sandler movie. It's one of his best fucking movies. It's
A
fucking
serious Adam
It's a
Sandler movie?
very
It is
good fucking
incredible.
movie.
Wow.
Uncut Gems, obviously, that was fucked up.
Don't even
dude.
say anymore because he hasn't seen it. I wanted to watch
Next.
that now because that was fucking insane.
This one is one that's definitely a personal one because it's one of those things that when I think of a death in a movie, I instantly go to it. It is Full Metal Jacket, and it is Private Pile. Fucking sitting on the fucking toilet with it. Oh my fuck. Yeah, I think about that all the time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Next. And this is the one I said before we started shooting, and then I got added.
Yeah,
it
that's
is
good.
Kung Fu Panda, and it is Master Oogway. That's such a good one. I'm so pissed. And this is why I said these. These were all fire. I don't know how fuck the top 10. I don't give a shit. Next, my final one. This is a very personal one, and it was because I was in love.
With her?
What?
Is this a girl?
It is.
You're in love with her?
Kind of.
Who is it?
And it is from, and I know I'm going to get made fun of. I don't care. It's from a show called Teen Wolf.
Oh my god.
There's a character in
Oh,
the
is this
show
the girl you showed me?
that I instantly fell in love with. Her name in the show is Allison Argent. They're laughing at me. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you guys.
I cannot believe this is on your list.
Shut the fuck up. I legitimately cried. Go fuck
This is
yourself.
your last honorable mention or your one?
This is my one. And the reason is because it's left field and I legitimately cried. I was
What the hell?
bothered.
It
by
was
this.
really
It's sad as fuck. Anyway, so the main character.
Your number one.
So
is
the main
Teen
character of the
Wolf?
show, he gets bit by an alpha, he becomes a wolf. He is in love with this one girl, but he's like a puny fucking nerd. Obviously, when he becomes a werewolf, he becomes jacked, popular, all this stuff. They end up falling in love. He is a werewolf. Her family is a famous like lineage of hundreds of years of people who are werewolf hunters. So basically, she kind of finds out and goes, "Oh fuck! Like we're supposed to kill you." And then her dad's trying to kill him. In the first season, her mom ends up getting bit, and this family's so crazy. She got bit. You don't die. You become a werewolf. As she was turning, she decided to fucking kill herself instead of becoming a werewolf.
Wow.
They are insane.
Wow.
Anyway, they basically start to like kind of separate going through high school and stuff like that, and they end up breaking up. Insanely sad. Anyway, and basically they start dating other people, and they start fighting these. They're called Oni. They're like actually
It's like the devil demon things or whatever.
Yeah. And basically they're like these masked demons who have swords and
masks.
and like it's one of those things that like they like at least for this they like when they kill you, you like evaporate. Like you get fucked up. And so basically they're fighting these Oni, and one of them stabs her in a very like unexpected, out of the blue fucking stabs her, and she like starts to fall, and the main guy catches her, and they do like the full like just romance love bullshit, and she's like, "You were my first love." And I was so fucking upset. I can't even explain to you how upset I
How
was.
old were you?
I have no probably too old, but
Last year.
I don't want to
know
say
how
elementary
old
school,
Teen Wolf
maybe
is.
middle school. No,
It was season 3, wasn't it?
yeah, it was early. I don't know. I was not too old that it's embarrassing, but I wasn't too young that it's not embarrassing.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think it's embarrassing.
she's just one of those people that like it like, and she's been in almost like nothing else, and it's one of those things that like it was one of, like I don't even know how to explain. Like I was just like
2013.
I mean,
I was 10.
If you watched
was
it
when it
live,
premiered.
we were I watched it live downstairs in the
2014.
dark.
By
It was the
yourself?
finale, right?
Nah, I was with my family. I made it worse.
Oh god.
It was the finale, right? It was.
I went upstairs and
2000
started crying.
2014. It was 6 months.
Oh, so you were 11.
Yeah, it was January 6, 2014.
Fuck. Yeah. I was fucking sad.
I was not expecting that to be.
Yeah, I know, and that's kind of why I put it there.
So random.
Didn't Styles die too?
No,
Did he not die?
no. There's definitely some times where he.
Are you sure?
So basically, the character he's referring to is Dylan O'Brien.
Oh yeah.
So basically, the entire show throughout as they go, basically everyone either becomes, turns, or changes into some sort of supernatural character. He's the only character in the show who is nothing.
He's the
Oh,
Jar
yeah, I
Jar.
remember you
He
told me
is
about
the
this.
friend who is nothing.
He's the
compared to all
Jar
of his-
Jar of the show.
Well, no, he's not. He's not like that.
I don't know why I thought he died. Well, there's a picture of him getting stabbed in the chest, even though it says he doesn't die.
No, he's like possessed. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
not actually him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like supernatural shit, that show's good. I don't give a fuck. Like it's not like it's one of those shows that's like it's for teenage
For
girls.
teens.
And like
It's called Teen Wolf for a
yeah,
reason,
like
I assume.
and this wasn't the movies, by the way, if you couldn't tell. This is from the rebooted TV show. There's actually like 3 movies that came out in like the 80s or some shit. Never seen those. Fuck
I
that.
don't know.
It's one of those things where everyone's in high school, but they're all 26 to 30. They're all hot as fuck for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And if we're going with supernatural shit, and I know me and you are on the opposite end of it. I much prefer vampires and werewolves to like. I know you and even my girlfriend are zombie people. I am not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen that show through. I think 3 times. Like I like it.
I don't think
It-
I ever finished it.
It honestly has like bits where you like are legitimately like your heart's racing, cause like there's some shit in it that's like on a borderline level is not scary.
They
but,
also
like, it's one
play
of those things-
locrosse and just fuck people up as fucking
Yeah, that's the
werewolves.
thing. They were like a rich school that played lacrosse, but the thing is, some of them, full moon's out, they turn to werewolves. So it's a werewolf going up against another just high schooler, and they fuck them up, dude.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fun.
Is that all you had to say about that?
Yeah, just sad young boy who was in love.
He lost his first love.
Dude, like.
She was like
kinda.
the oldest cast member too.
Dude, she was playing in high school. She was like 30.
She was
Yeah,
30.
they always are.
She was 36.
She still looks good. Shout out to her.
Yeah, I remember
Fuck.
you showed me her not that long ago. But
Yeah, her most recent movie was that like monster truck movie thing. It was like a monster truck that was like a living plant thing. I don't fucking
I
know.
don't fucking know.
It was called like Monster Truck,
I
not
don't know.
Monster Truck. It was like Monster House, Monster Truck.
Monster House is a good fucking movie. But I honestly enjoyed this video a lot, like doing this and planning for this.
I think I can keep going. I can. Think
I
of
know
more
you
people.
could. I feel like this was like a fun video, and if you guys enjoy this, I'm sure there's plenty of other like top 10
Yeah.
cinema things we can think of doing.
Well, not even just that. Comment your guys's. If one.
Yeah, I would love
And this
to
is one of
hear
those things that like
some
there's
things we
there's
might have missed.
definitely tons of deaths that we didn't get to. It was kind of one of those things that like we built list and that's what we went with. I know a
Mhm.
big one is John Coffey is
Yeah.
a big death scene.
Mhm.
That's from the Green,
Green
Mile.
Mile,
I don't
yeah.
know if you know that. The Departed
Yeah.
has a pretty big death scene.
There's a bunch of big,
there's
huge
there's some
cinematic
big
deaths.
ones. I know American Psycho. A lot of people listed. There's a couple in that.
It's a good movie.
I mean, and then obviously all of the fucking like horror movies. There's tons of deaths.
Yeah.
All throughout.
There's death through all out cinema, so
Yeah.
leave your favorite one if you see this and you want to comment. Leave whatever you feel your favorite death is in cinematic history.
Yeah.
And
Make fun of me. I know it's gonna happen. Make fun of ours if you want. I
yeah,
know there's some on here that people are probably gonna be like, "Are you fucking
your
serious?"
top 10. What the
My
hell?
entire list.
Maybe a little bit, but
But
yeah, this has been fun as fuck.
yeah, this was a fun ass video.
I thought it was actually really cool to see how like pretty different all of our lists
Nah.
were. And they were all like super personal. I mean, yeah, sure, some of them were like more cinematic reasons. Like you guys picked more cinematic things than I did, but
Yeah.
it was like we all picked also very personal stuff too, and I really like that about this because
You can also tell like where we individually like overlap with each other and
Yeah.
what we've seen, like the conversations we have versus the conversations we have and
Yeah.
stuff, and then definitely our own individuality with obviously The Walking Dead.
So you can
and-
see where our personalities lie as far as like TV and movie goes.
Yeah.
When it comes to this list, but yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of other cinematic lists we could probably do. This was like the first one we thought of, and I think this was a really fun video for me personally to make and to just think about in general for the list, like to really put it down to paper. My top 10 favorite or most influential to me personally cinematic deaths. There's plenty of other things we could talk about as far as cinema goes, and I genuinely enjoyed this video a lot. That being said, if you enjoyed this too, like it, leave a comment on what you thought of our list and all that. And yeah, this has been Gen Entertainment. Peace, guys.